In the distant future, mankind has reached the stars, but the galaxy is troubled.
What do you think you're doing? Don't fire!
The Earthsphere Alliance rules the outlying colonies with an iron fist.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Isn't it about time you people realized the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves? We've had enough!
Those who oppose them
We won't be needing you any further.
What?
die. Battles are waged with mobile suits, the key to military dominance. The only hope for the colonies, 5 elite soldiers and their legendary mobile suits called Gundams.
There will be a day when the Gundams will save us all.
What this is war.
All of you are very mistaken, and the Gundams will soon come to rectify your mistakes.
Silence!
Now, these pilots will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history.
You saw I was a kid and you underestimated me. Shouldn't be fighting at all!
If they can stay alive.
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll battle even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted.
Get the Gundam! Enemy attack!
I'll eliminate all obstacles.
Just who are you anyway?
Say goodbye.
Get all mobile suits ready for combat at once! Can you?
Don't die on me!
From the Gundam universe, a new chapter in one of the greatest anime sagas of all time. Gundam Wing. Weekdays at 5:30. Suit up.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
Only Tsunami.
All next week at 5:30, Johnny Quest packs his bags.
What gives?
And Tsunami goes to war.
We've got a full-scale threat attack!
Open fire!
For 1 week only.
To your stations, quickly!
Beast Wars. All next week at 5:30. Transformers 90 style. Only on Tsunami.
Proximity alert. Proximity alert.
Flash.
The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan.
You just made my day.
Tsunami, the Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, Toonami's given you some of the greatest cartoon shows ever made. Now we're proud to present our newest edition, a program about love, honor, sacrifice, revenge, and a whole lot of destruction. Let's get things started! Gundam fight all set, ready, go!
I will get rid of them with my own hands.
Your crime shall not go unpunished.
You still haven't figured out my true identity. Let's do it.
Now, fire!
What's happening? They think the planet Earth is nothing more than a playground.
Prove your worth to the Shaolin Temple.
Insane.
Take this! My love, my anger, and all my sorrow!
You intend to shoot your own brother?
Will never be forgiven!
G Gundam, premiering next Monday at 5. Only Toonami.
Okay, you asked for it.
It's the lion again! Come back to save us! And that old guy's with him!
Hey, stop calling me mister. I told you, I'm only 20 years old.
Success rates are nothing but scientific theory. A brave heart will defy any odds.
Program drive, engage!
Broken Magnum! It doesn't look good. Hell and
Love my good, fear my evil. Premieres March 17th on Tsunami.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. Can I count it on? Can I
It's a
count it
total
on?
eclipse of the heart.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wait, cool.
My count is on. My count is on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
After Colony 196, humanity finally achieves peace. But the ashes of war give birth to a new threat.
We at Colony L3X18999 hereby wish to declare war against the nation.
A child is building an empire to avenge her father.
I will rule the world.
With Gundams at her side, Earth will feel her fury.
Drop the colony onto Earth. Stop this at once.
The remaining pilots will battle each other to stop her.
I'm asking if you guys are doing the right thing!
The endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution continues.
See for yourself just how powerless you are.
Roger that.
Prepare yourself for Gundam like you've never seen it before.
You will surrender!
A special Gundam Wing movie, Endless Waltz. Friday, November 10th at 5. Suit up again. Only Tsunami. Tsunami's bringing back Saturday mornings. I'm going to show you a little experiment. 3 hours of quality Tsunami programming, and it's not even a school day. Starting at 9, you get back-to-back Thundercats. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. Then Sailor Moon at 10.
Sun, moon, sky, earth, fire, air, water, rock, stars.
The Saturday premiere of Tenchi Muyo at 10:30.
Trust in your own power.
The Garlic Jr. Saga at 11. And the Powerpuff Girls at 11:30. The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan. Tsunami, the Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Good evening, chat. I hope you're all doing okay. This isn't really going to be some major stream, so, you know, I kind of expect low numbers on this. It's all good. Let's see here. Check to see if there are any questions in the chat while I wait. Diddling a doodle. Sure, lad. Sure. There was a question, but I can't remember what it was. Yin, you are gay, not I. Sorry, I'm like the only straight person around here other than Vlad. Why can't I remember what was being asked? I can't even find it in the chat. Oh well. Oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, there it is. Christian. Lio, did you see Gundam? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Not yet. Not yet. So, just real quick, what I'm going to do to the stream today is starting next week, I'm picking back up doing episode coverage of Thundercats like I have been for a while. Inconsistently, because I kind of got sidetracked for 2 years by a lunatic. And instead of just, you know, blurring the intro and putting that as a backdrop, I figured I might as well just do a scene redraw every episode. Force myself into drawing. So, that's what this is. So you guys are going to see me try and make this look not sucky. And my first step is going to be to overlay this with the actual scene I drew it from. Now, when the video comes out, you'll see the full time skip on it. You'll be, you know, the speed paint and whatnot. You'll see that. But, look forward to me sucking on this, because I also got a whole bunch of new brushes somebody recommended to me, because a lot of the backgrounds in the show are, of course, like watercolor, and I don't know how to replicate that, like, in Clip Studio. I know how to do it traditionally, but not in Clip Studio. Alright, what's your question about Jar? I fear the Jar question. Thank you, Godo, for the $2. Will you ever check out Ultraman if I have the time? I never have time. Never have the freaking time for anything. So let's see here. No, Vlad, it's not tracing. You ever found out why Chaos tried to frame him for her framed game over? Oh, I actually have an answer for that. Simple. She's a loony. Now, I'm going to tell you why she's a loony. All right? The reason why she's a loony is that person never even existed to begin with. It was a character she made up. She made up the character that she accused Jar of killing. Wasn't even a real person. And her reason for why? I mean, who knows? A lot of these people in the ACC spaces are actually unhinged, so I have no idea. Art collab win, Lio? I have no clue. Is Jar a homosexual race at fart fetish autist? Homosexual race at fart fetish. How do you race at a fart? I don't want to know. Actually, no, I retract that. I don't want to know. She made him a dead person. You know, there's actually some really irritating things about the whole Chaos stuff. And something I've actually noticed, of course. A lot of these people who go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs genuinely do have, like, legitimate art talent. Chaos, according to people who knew her, often didn't even need to use a sketch layer to get down what they were trying to do. They instead just flat out drew it. And somebody with that level of talent decided to toss it all away for something quite literally made up. I will never understand these people. Let me throw away my skills in this community because I don't like Jars. I'm going to make up some bizarre story about how he caused somebody to commit seppuku. Spare me. Good Lord, what is wrong with these people? Seriously. I can draw a rabbit wearing a hat, but that's not what we're doing right now. I mean, there's plenty of Bugs Bunny art where he's in like a tuxedo, so, you know, fancy attire, including a hat. You can go for it anytime. See, art people being crazy is the only reason I bonk art people. Crazy puss is best puss. Thank you, Vlad. Very cool. I'm not drawing Bugs Bunny in drag. There's enough examples of that out there in the ether. You don't need it from me. I actually got this a lot closer than I expected I would have. Have you ever watched Harakiri? If not, you should. Is that the Chambara film about the guy whose son commits Harakiri? And so he makes an entire example of them by essentially forcing them to? Is that what you're referring to? Because if that's what you're referring to, the answer is obviously yes. And thank you for the super chat. Do I prefer Slegger from Gundam or Roy from Macross? Neither, frankly. Slegger sounds like a slur. Can't trust these guys. He's a total Slegger. Who is the best Power Rangers villain? Best is pretty subjective in that term. Because they all kind of do what they're supposed to. Like, fan favorite, of course, is going to be Zed. But as far as, like, quality, I'd have to argue that it would be... I can't even remember his name. He was the main antagonist in Dino Thunder or Grum from SPD. Thank you for the super chat, Zach. Thank you, Longfork, as well. I'm working on a large project with a YouTuber. Art block sucks. Yes, it does. Granted, I rarely ever deal with that because I'm just that good. Actually, no, it's because I don't do it enough to suffer from art block. That was not an own. That was a sad. Mesagog, thank you. It makes you old because your age still begins with a 3. So yes, I'm saying 3-year-olds are old. Before you come back with that, because I know you will, Vlad. I know you will. Oh, the background music's not on? Okay, give me a second here. Could have sworn it was. Let me double check. Oh. Boop, there you go. Lio, how do you feel about a Christian father of 6 giving up his job to go pro Overwatch and he begged using the Lord's name to get... Oh, my God. Okay, if it had just stopped at, you know, he decided to change his career to Overwatch, as long as that was, like, you know, viable, I wouldn't have any issue. But if he's e-begging instead of working a traditional job because he wants to be lazy, Scripture's pretty clear on that. And no, it's not a positive clear, for the record. Also, Chad, I want you to all be aware, Chris is the reason why I have to find a better word to describe some of the weird people I took in, because he has him via proxy of another weirdo have ruined the term found family for me. So I don't know if you want to thank him or if you want to call him gay, but he totally did. Somebody named Leadhead, I think it was. That person's a freak, man. Lau, giving your knowledge at Getter as I am, what do you think of Getter Go manga? I need to catch up on it. I haven't read it in a while, honestly. I'm probably behind. Brother, I don't even have that anymore, alright? I got rid of that. That thing was vile. Wish there would have been at least one member of that wasn't a absolute lunatic, but nope. Can't have nice things here. I hate Injustice because evil Superman is the easiest thing in the world to do, and it's edge for edge's sake, and if you have edge for edge's sake, I kind of hate it. I don't find any narrative intellect in it. I don't find any actual enjoyment in the concept, specifically because... what are they even doing with it? Well, Superman's evil. He let power corrupt him. Ho ho, we've totally never done this before. Unironically, spare me. I don't even have the original Nintendo Switch. Spent on the second one. Can we have a katana fight in front of the Stripes gas station layout? Ah, man. Firstly, I don't even think there's a Stripes, like, in this area. And secondly, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I mean, mutual combat is allowed in Texas. We do have laws for that, but I don't think it takes into account weapons. In fact, I'm fairly certain it 100% doesn't. I like the concept of Mazinger Zero. Like, I really do. The meta-narrative of it's really fascinating. How they worked with it, especially in the manga. There is a really good video on it out there. Unfortunately, one of the people who worked on it was outed as a groomer. Because, of course, they were. So, yay. I want Laya to watch the Boondocks. What makes you think I haven't? Lio, do you think Gundam Wing Endless Waltz is a very bad sequel to Gundam Wing? No, I don't actually. I know there's some, what's the word I'm looking for? Disconnection because of Endless Waltz as a concept in terms of, the progressive story, as well as the fact that, like, the suits are completely different. The mobile suit's completely changed. But, like, that's just how Kotoki ran, I suppose. That's kind of the bigger issue to me, is that, like, visually there were some severe changes. Everyone here should stop smoking cigarettes. No, Vlad. Thoughts on Tom versus Wile E. Coyote death battle? Okay, as far as the research goes, I can't even really talk about that. I haven't in-depth researched the feats of Tom versus Wile E. Coyote. But I will say this. The death battle team is really not good with comedic timing. Like, the entire point of characters like Tom and the Coyote is they're comedy characters. So if you're going to do a versus battle, it should be funny. And I just don't think they really lived up to that, to be honest with you. I mean, the animation was serviceable, but they've honestly done better. So, for something that people were apparently waiting for years, it's just a letdown in that sense. Name my favorite scene from the Boondocks. God, that's hard. Like, just about anything Stinkmeaner says, firstly. Stinkmeaner is wild. It was the only guy who kicked the devil in his chest. Nah, that's the other guy. But called the devil slurs. Why hell in there is based on China, I don't know, and I don't think they thought about that, but it is what it is. I do like the first episodes back and forth. Granddad, you cannot change the white social power structure with cheese. Oh, yes, I can. Don't you ever tell a white person the truth. I'm going to go find a white person and lie to him right now. I understand, Granddad. I understand him spiritually. I don't think that works. So the episode I'm going over is The Terror of Hammerhand. And honestly, at first, when I talked about it at the very end of the Pumra video, I said it's not a good episode. And in some cases, the writing's kind of off. But the animation wasn't bad like I thought it was once I finally took another look at it. Were I to venture a guess, in all honesty, because we don't have any data on who animated the episode. We know it was Pacific Animation Corporation, but they often outsourced as well. So we don't know who actually did it, but the animation style, because there is a difference between the art style and the animation style, seems very classic Lupin. And I mean very classic Lupin. So I have a feeling it was people from there. Not that we'll ever know without getting a hold of, like, the show director, who I think is currently working on Bleach 1,000 Year War. So, also don't know if he speaks any English. Have you checked out Analog Horror? Do you like any horror movie, and which one? I don't care for horror movies. They bore the living daylights out of me. I think my favorite scene is when Huey tries to explain to Riley why people go on dates. Okay, that's fair. Fun fact, the changes in Gundam Wing in Endless Waltz is explained in the Gundam Wing manga retelling, Glory of the Losers. Yeah, I know. I need to catch up on that, too. I got a lot of it. Leo, was it 2 or 3 studios that did Thundercats? Well, there were technically 2, depending on how you want to go about it. You had the American branch of Rankenboss, and then you had Pacific Animation Corporation, which was the animation studio in Japan that handled it. But as far as, like, how many studios outsourced, that I actually couldn't tell you, because I don't know. That's data that's not really available. And that's honestly part of the problem with trying to look into some of these types of cartoons. Since they weren't, made in America, it's much more difficult to get some data when those studios aren't even around anymore. Like, I don't even know what Pacific Animation Corporation became after it stopped being Disney East. I have no clue. But I will say it's very obvious to me that all the production side for animation stayed in Japan, at least, because that's where all the cells have been found. Speaking of Living Daylights, favorite Bond movie? I don't care for James Bond. I find him boring. What's the craziest thing you did to get more info or resources on Thundercats? I haven't really done anything crazy. I haven't needed to. But I've spent a lot of money. Because a lot of the model sheets and stuff like that often have replication in them. So for the last bundle I bought, you guys saw it. Me put out like, well, here's the set. It's over 500 images. That's from like 7 or 8 sets of material from the show. There were a lot of duplicates that obviously I didn't include in the scan because I'm not going to give you 5,000 Pantherocide profiles. Really, Godo? Which Japanese studio did the best animation for Batman the Animated Series, in your opinion? Okay, let me ask you. Do you consider World's Finest part of Batman the Animated Series? He-Man versus Thundercats. Vlad says he likes He-Man better, which he's told me before. He-Man equals Thundercats, so they're equal. Nah, that's fair. Lio, do you see Devilman Crybaby, and do you think there should have been a Devilman Lady sequel to it? No, because I'm not a Devilman fan. Have you ever met or know Rick Goldschmidt? He's the official store. I actually seen him around, yeah. I actually pointed Phineas his way, because Phineas was working on a retrospective for the Runkin' Boss Christmas specials. I'm like, look, I know about their work on Thundercat, Silverhawks, and Tiger Shark. You're going to want to go to this guy for that stuff. I mean, Skeletor is, like, perfection in terms of dickhead villain. Which is actually kind of funny, because when you look at the early seasons of He-Man, that dude was played straight. And I know that the second season has its problems. There's a lot of fan complaints about it, and I'm not going to argue that that's not valid, because it kind of is. But I kind of appreciate the fact that they took Skeletor from some try-hard sorcerer to somebody who can oftentimes just be catty. As long as it doesn't, like, take away from his menace as a character, as a villain, I'm fine with stuff like that. And I think it was even James Eatock, the He-Man historian, who said that he believes flatly that Skeletor is literally more popular than He-Man, like as a franchise. Let me see Godo's response. That was done by TMS. Well, part of it was. Part of it was done by Ghibli. You know that? Part of World's Finest. A small scene, but it was there. Still waiting for your episode that criticized the He-Man vs. Lion-O episode. True. And I don't blame you. I'm going to tell you why it hasn't come out yet. Because I am going to be super ultra mega anal about it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take every single piece of media I can find for both characters, and I'm actually going to line out their feeds. That way nobody can complain about it. Hot take, Batman the Animated Series is better than He-Man and Thundercats and most other shows in this era. Well, I mean, I'm not even going to argue that. That's just fact. Like, I love Thundercats, but I'm not about to sit here and tell you it's better than Batman the Animated Series. That would just literally be absurd. I know you dislike Thundercats 2011, but I do wish we would have gotten a second season because I do think the show had good ideas. I think it should have gotten a second season, if nothing else, due to the fact that they were promised that, and there were people who had work for it that just, they needed the work, if nothing else. But, of course, Warner Brothers had to be Warner Brothers, and instead undercut them with Lego Chima, because of course they did. Started rewatching it, huh, Vlad? It's solid. Like, it's a beautiful... Like, even without the solid, unquestionably decent writing, like, just in terms of, like, art, the show is gorgeous. Yeah, I did switch a lot to Tokyo Movie Shinjo, which, by the way, they're still operational. They actually do the Baki series now. They were also one of the companies that worked on Tiny Toons. Not that I'm a fan of Tiny Toons. I want to be very clear about that. I actually really don't like Tiny Toons. And I haven't revisited Animaniacs enough to get an opinion on that now. but I'm hoping it was better than Tiny Toons. I know at least Slappy Squirrel was. Astro Boy 2003, Lio. I'm good. I'm good not mentioning that one. Be like saying G1 Transformers is better than Beast Wars. Oh, wait. In some cases, here's the thing. When it comes to these 80s cartoons that a lot of people don't want to recognize. In some cases, they were just doing the best they could. It's not that they didn't care. It's not that they had no love of what they were doing or the market was so bad they'd do anything, yada, yada. Sometimes they just kind of had to work with what they did. So we can talk about problems in G1 Transformers, whether it be the episodic nature of the writing until Season 3, whether it be a lot of the animation errors. But what you cannot say, factually cannot say, is that the people who worked on that series did not have the time of their lives. That series was goofy, and I love the type of goofiness it is. I wonder how Lio Convoy would tackle making animation memes. Well, I gotta learn to animate first now, don't I? Don't think I'd be too good at making memes. That's more of the young people thing. There is a piece of animation that I've been wanting to fix or redo. I'm using the wrong words. That I've wanted to do. That I started in like 2022, 2021. And I've got the keyframes down and nothing else. Because I have been busy. And I have a tendency of ignoring my personal projects. Do you prefer drawing humans or mechs? I'm good with either, honestly. Because I'm not a coward. I don't think that's going to work. Let's try this. Because I don't want to have any tangent lines if I can help it. There we go. The truth of the matter is, artists try to treat mech drawing like it's the most difficult thing in the world. It's actually not. It's no different than any other thing you draw. Just break it down to its basic shapes and build off of it. You guys look at the technical details of it from more skilled artists, and you immediately get scared of it. Don't feel fear about it. Just look at it, do a study on it, try to replicate it. Typical way you'd learn how to draw anything, honestly. Well, Gilded can think what he wants. It's okay. We let him. What are your thoughts on the 2000X He-Man? I thought it was a good show overall, but the 2000X He-Man was really good. The problem is, and this is going to sound really weird, but the problem is they didn't do world building as well as the Filmation version did. And while some of the fights were fun, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the choreography on the original He-Man was better for that, because they couldn't be. Factually, they couldn't be. I think sometimes they kind of overdid it in a lot of ways and made things flashier than they really needed to. You guys can't, give me any praise for the anatomy. I'm not the person who made the anatomy. I'm following somebody else who's far more skilled's previous work. Will you be seeing the Superman movie? Probably. I'm sure the wife will want to see it. Now, whether or not I think it'll be good, I don't know. I don't trust modern movies. I barely trust old ones. Drawing over pre-69 tradition directly is tracing. Okay, true. True, I guess. I mean, I guess you could say that at one point I did a little bit of work tracing, and that was when I was doing the inking part. Because I did, for that comic company, pencils, inks, and flats for different books. And one day, we're going to have a nice little conversation about that. And I'm not going to tell you why. You'll have to wait and see. In about 20 years, I'm sure. Well, the thing is, when it comes to He-Man, you say you hate it when people call the original He-Man cheesy. Well, the truth of the matter is it is. But cheesy isn't inherently a bad thing. There's plenty of campy, cheesy things that are absolutely amazing. Like the Adam West Batman. It is 100% Gouda cheese, but how can you hate Adam West Batman? And I know a lot of people my age, a little younger, a little older, they have that phase where they hate the Adam West Batman. It's awful. It ruined the name of Batman. But like when you actually watch it, it is hilarious. Platinum Amex, thank you for the super chat. Hey, I just finished having a fun game of too many games. I'd like to ask, any memory of a convention that made you laugh to this day? And any memory of the coolest thing you saw at any convention? I'll answer that in a minute. I got to give that some thought. To Zendotor, Lio is an aspiring professional artist. How the F did you even find that comic kick? I didn't. They found me on DeviantArt. Which probably should have been my first clue that there's a problem. Okay, so let me see here. Because there was a lot of wild stuff that happened at conventions. You know, I think I could tell you something. So, one in the chat, if you're an old school Power Ranger fan. Thank you, Vlad. Very cool. Okay, so I was at, I think it was called Space City Con. It's now defunct because they didn't pay their bills. But back in the day, I used to do some foam fighting for a group called Dagger Wrath. It may have been Dagger here at that time. And we decided, you know, it was late at night, and we just wanted to have some fun. So we, in the hallway, we just had some rounds smacking each other with the foam weapons. And we were by the elevator. And when we were by the elevator, some dude hopped off, took one look at us, and one of them was like painted red like a devil, like had body paint all over him. Like his eyes got wide and just sort of shuffled away from it, like as quickly as he could. And I'm like, man, that guy looks familiar. But I couldn't place it, I couldn't place it. Next day, I go to the autograph room. And you know who that person was? It's Paul Schreier. And for those of you who are like, who's Paul Schreier? Bulk. From Power Rangers, it was Bulk. And I actually have his signature. I got it at a convention, and when I went to a more recent convention, which was kind of neat in the sense that it was primarily just like celebrity talent they had there, quote unquote. They had like, God, 40 or 50 people between voice actors and whatnot. The type of convention I'd like. He was there with the gentleman who played Skull, whose name escapes me at this very moment. And not only did he refresh his old signature, but I got skulls for free as well. So it was really neat. Jason Narvi, thank you. Really, really nice people. Really kind individuals. But we talked a little bit. I was like, yeah, came out that elevator. I didn't know what you people were doing. So I made my way out of there real quick. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. So that's one way. How many orgies did you see at a convention? None, thankfully. And I'm so good with that, I do not need to see other nerds having sex. That is so in my I don't need to see that moment. I don't at all need to see that. I haven't been to a convention other than that one in a pretty long time because I've just been busy. Like with just life in general. The one convention I want to go to this year, I don't even know if I'll be able to. I'm hoping I can. But I don't know if I'll be able to. And that would be TFCon. Lio, did you ever read the Archie Sonic comics? Oh, I absolutely did when I was a kid. Those were one of the comics I read the most when I was younger. In fact, when I became an adult, like mid-20s, I decided to do some looking because I was reminded of it. And immediately got very confused. I was not aware, because I never really much in the way of playing the games, knew that the comics focus shifted depending on what game was in vogue at the time. I'm good with not going to Dallas Fan Expo. I'm so good with that. Lio Convoy, did you see Sonic the Underground? I don't know, were the triplets born? The throne awaits? Yeah, I've seen Underground. I have a lot of questions about it in terms of its production, but yeah, I've seen it. In fact, last TFCon I went to, the voice actor for the Robotnik from that series was there, because it was Gary Chalk. Great guy. He was actually telling me about his experiences working on the movie Small Sacrifices, which was based on a real court case about a crazy woman who essentially wound up trying to kill her children so she'd be more desirable by the dating market. And before Vlad says based. And he was one of the actors in that movie, and he was telling me how one of the funniest things that happened was in that filming at the courthouse scene, there were several, like, fender benders, because the woman who was in the movie, who was, like, very conventionally attractive, would come out, and they'd all be paying more attention to her than the road. What do you mean they never found their mother? She's in jail. Oh, wait, you're talking about Sonic Underground. Well, she might be in jail, too. Will you be covering the legacy of the Prime Star Convoy and how it compares to the third-party figure you covered before? I'm hoping to. Somehow everybody else is getting a hold of one but me, but I did, however, get in the, the Commander-class Superion and the two pieces of Devastator, and I have to be honest with you. I kind of love them. They are solid figures. I don't know if it's that Sega refuses to use the DiC characters or if they really can't. Because I do know that there might be some, narrative whiplash with that. Didn't Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, voice Dr. Robotnik in a Sonic TV show at one point? Yes, Stat AM, the serious Sonic cartoon. He voiced Dr. Robotnik in that. The cockles of my heart. He was a solid voice actor. I love his work. I hate that hedgehog. Also, as loath as I am to say it, because I didn't expect it to, the Sonic and DC crossover was actually kind of fun. I got to watch Metal Sonic get ran over by Batman's motorcycle, so that was entertaining. Yeah, Farrah Fawcett, that's the name. That's the name of the woman from Small Sacrifices. That courtroom scene was just immaculate in the way they did it. And, you know, that comes a lot from me because I don't often even care for live action films. I tend to stick with animation, so the fact that I'm praising it should tell you something. Do you prefer Wally or Barry? Wally. But that's because I was more familiar with the Flash from the Justice League cartoons of the 2000s than I was the comics. I don't mind Mike Pollock, but Baldry's take is definitive at this point. No, I agree. Again, when I was younger, I'm like, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is so immature, it's so lame, it's not as good as Sat AM because it's darker and it's got more of a story, and now I'm an adult, I'm like, this show's amazing. Long John Baldry is perfect. Promotion. Good night, Lyle. Heard they are not only making a Transformers cartoon based on the Energon comics and Michael Bay is coming back to direct the movie. What do you think? It sucks. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was intentional. That Transformers 1 failed. And the marketing was intentionally bad so they could go back to Bay. Because I hate to say it. And I do. Michael Bay's Flash over Substance films makes them a lot of money. Thoughts on Marvel Ultraman crossover? I have seen one panel of it that went super hard where Ultraman confronted Galactus. That's freaking rad. If I paid you $10, would you draw George Floyd robbing a pregnant woman? Could you use a photo of robbing a pregnant woman? Could you use a photo of the actual incident? Well, firstly, no, that's That's not enough for like something that complicated. And I actually don't think there is a photo of that incident. I think that was just something on the police report. I don't think there was photography of that situation. I could be wrong, though. What do you think of Skybound Transformers? I think it's got some good to it, a lot of good to it. I think that the way the initial writer was talking about pitching the series made it sound like he had issues. Honestly. Anybody who looks at these old cartoons and their first response, either as a child or an adult, is, it wasn't violent enough, I immediately sus. Like, you're sus immediately. There's something wrong with you. What about the new cartoon? Do you think it'll be good? I don't. Because I don't trust modern cartoons. And I'm not saying that from, like, one of these culture war freak perspectives. I'm saying that because so far I've yet to see a cartoon, other than freaking Ninja Turtles, because somehow they always win, that has done a reboot in recent years, or a continuation that doesn't suck. I know you primarily do Gundam kits, but what are your thoughts on ROK2? I don't know what Robotime wooden kits are, honestly. I don't have cinematic trust issues, I just have trust issues. Like years ago, with Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Adam Wingert came out saying, well, I want to do a Thundercat film. Like I've had this script on since I was a kid, and I'm looking at this dude, and I've literally been in like the fan spaces for Thundercats since 97, and I'm like, I've never in my life heard of you, so no, I don't trust it. All these clowns say, well, I'm a big fan, and they turn around and what are they? They're not fans. They just think they're smarter than everybody else. Lyle, what was the anime that got you into the genre? I don't consider anime a genre, it's a medium. But more importantly, it's actually hard to figure out. And the reason why it's hard to figure out is because I don't know which one I watched first. And it's going to be kind of funny. I don't know if it was Voltron or Superbook. Lyle, what do you think of the GoBots toy line? I thought it was fun. Granted, I'd never collect them. And when I had Chris give drugs to my kids, Rakeda raging about me because I was critical of a freak who ran Anime Matsuri, the most insulting thing he said on there of me was, this is a GoBots collector. I'm like, how dare you, sir? I need to work on some of these eyes. I'm not happy with them. Well, did you see the Group Team Season 3 pick up Sonic the Hedgehog? In fact, I'm on that Patreon. So yes, I have. Whether or not it'll suck, we'll see. Rakeda Law was out. Anime Matsuri, shout out to Rakeda. I mean, if you want to shout out a felon, I mean, you do you, buddy. Are there any kits you suggest for someone who's trying to get into Gundam building? My fiance likes it and I want to do stuff with them. Literally any of them. They're snap-together kits. You don't need any glue for them. So the concern about destroying something is minimal. As long as you can follow instructions, you're good. Wait, is not Kuta still doing the Season 3 thing, or is it a different team? I'm not sure about the names, to be honest with you. Turned around, just made the same mistake. I'm very smart. There we go. On topic of Gundam kids, might I recommend ZZ Gundam? I actually built the Master Grade Double Zeta. It's fun. A bit wobbly, but fun. I will, however, say I hate, number one, that hedgehog. But number two, I hate the real grade Zeta Gundam kit. That sucker is a plastic grenade, worse than the RX-78 version. I have trust issues with real grades because of those two. Have you thought about building Bionicles on stream? No, because I don't own any of them. And I never did. Bionicles went right by me. Then again, I've also never been a big Lego guy, so... Big O is the Rogue Gundam. I mean, Big O is an excellent series. Their entire thought process is, what if we take people from Batman the Animated Series and turn it into a mech show? And I'm going to say this, and it's going to be a hot take. I don't know if they've ever said it, but I can't remember his name, but the character who like gets his own mecha and he's covered in the bandages, I 100% believe that was some part of inspiration for Hush. I cannot sit here and not think otherwise. Opinions of Gurren Lagann? I think that Gurren Lagann is overemphasized in the mecha genre because people don't recognize what it was. Gurren Lagann was not just some standalone mech series. If you actually pay attention and you know anything about the mech genre, Gurren Lagann's a love letter to it. Lyle, do you think Gal Gaigar had biblical themes? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously. Now, whether or not they did it well is another matter. Because what I think I did learn when I researched Evangelion, as much as I hate that show, and I do, I have severe issues with that show, and I do mean severe. My opinion, Hideaki Anno is he needs to be in a jail cell somewhere. And before somebody gets mad, I'm going to make my reason for that very clear. If you start your film, and you are in your 30s, showing the tits, the breasts of a teenage girl, and the teenage boy pleasuring himself to them, brother, you belong under the jail. And I'm not going to accept any, cultural difference, no, die in a fire. Japan industrialized itself and made it on par with other, militaries within 40 years. You don't get to play the cultural value game on that one. Thoughts on Human Centipede? Never seen it. Don't plan to. Everything is biblical themes. The Bible covers her life. Okay, that's fair. That's actually fair. But no, Gal Gaigar specifically had characters named Cain and Abel and all that other stuff. Although they kind of missed what those characters were and their points. I don't have any specific thoughts on Big O's specific writer because I haven't watched Big O in a very long time. I think the last time I watched Big O was when the first DVD box set came out, early 2000s, my dude. Thoughts on Space Runaway Ideon? That man needs some antidepressants. That's what I think of Ideon. Do you like Pokemon? No, I've never been a Pokemon fan. The only thing from Pokemon I really liked was Jessie from Team Rocket, and I will not apologize for it. Zobungle? I haven't watched it in full. I initially started watching it because I liked the goofy name. What do you think of Aura Battler Dunbean? I haven't seen it. I have not seen every mech show known to man. I'm sorry. Maybe one day when I have time I will, but not today. Man, I am not doing okay on this. Let me see if changing the position helps. Oops. Wrong button. Wrong lever. Before somebody says use your shoulder, I kind of can't. There's actually something wrong with it right now. Before somebody asks what's wrong with it, I don't know. I don't go to doctors. Have you seen Garzy's Wing? We don't talk about Garzy's Wing. Any brushes you recommend? No. While I may be drawing here, I am the worst person to ask that type of stuff to. I am not smart enough for that. You see metal line. Guys, you gotta stop asking me if I've seen X specific mecha. I promise it's gonna be okay. Favorite Zords? Oh man. Okay. I of course like all the original Dino Zords. From the Megazord to the Dragon Zord to Titanus. I like the Thunder Zords that they took from freaking Die Ranger. I like I didn't initially. When I was a kid, I hated them. But recently, I've kind of fallen in love with these Zords from Kaku Ranger, or the third season of Power Rangers, the Ninja Zords. Because they make the clickety-clickety noise. And I kind of like the Japanese castle motif on the Shogun Zords. Of course, Big Zam's the goat, but he ain't around anymore either. But I enjoyed the Wild Zords. I enjoyed the Shinkenger Zords. Oddly enough, as much as I loved SPD, I didn't really care for their Zords. They kind of were boring to me. I like a lot of the Zeo Zords. So yeah, Dino Thunder Zords were okay. But they weren't, I don't know, they weren't chonky enough for my tastes. Thoughts on HasLab's Snowcat knowing Hasbro's history with white plastic? Good luck to anybody who wants to buy it, because I ain't going to be him. Do you think Power Rangers should have ended Astro Space? No, but I think they should have gotten a better writer team. I think part of the problem with Power Rangers is they write it for children while thinking children are dumb. Because again, Super Sentai is also a children's show, but they don't treat it like it's a children's show. They also don't look at it and say, well, if these characters are going to appeal to kids, they have to be teenagers at minimum. No, most Super Sentai characters are adults, and that makes sense. Can you agree that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song Heroes of Goat? It was okay. It was okay. I did enjoy Ron Masterman's work. What do you think of the Super Book 2004 reboot or the original? I only seen the original. I saw like one episode of the reboot. What's the most you spent on any particular toys? Oh, God. Do you mean any one specific toy? Or do you mean, like, in general when I go shopping for toys? Because if it's the latter, anytime I've been at a Transformer convention. Any update on Playmates review on Power Rangers toy line? I have zero desire to review the Power Rangers toy line by Playmates. Those look awful. And I have absolutely given my money to some stupid crap, but it ain't going to be that. There's no Zaku, boy. No Zaku. What do you think of Kamen Rider? I mean, I think it's a good legacy show from what I've seen of it. But I haven't seen much. What's your favorite modern TMNT show? I mean, I can't really go wrong with the 2003. You just can't. It is goated, as the kids say. It is indeed a peak. But I also unapologetically enjoy Rise of the TMNT. Very hot take at the time. But honestly, when it comes to Ninja Turtles, there were so many variations of it that came out even like in the 80s that I think they've more than earned the right to experiment on that. Lion-O in this picture, because it's a scene redraw, is technically fighting Hammerhand, that the show for some reason calls a pirate, but he's not really a pirate. Him, his crew, and his ship are all very much so based on stereotypical Viking aesthetic. And if Vlad's in here, I will say yes, Vlad. Unfortunately, that also means they gave them horned helmets. Lyle, which animated Spider-Man show do you like the most? Oh, man. I mean, I love Spider-Man the Animated Series. I'm not about to say it was bad. I'm not about to say it was the worst. It was far from it. It's my second favorite. First of those got to be Spectacular. Like, not even a contest on that one. Wonder how many people in certain spaces are going to screech at my my sudden mod powers in the chat. Probably enough. They'll probably think that we're the bestest of friends and that you cover for me or whatever cowabunga bullpiss they want to believe in. Wish they believe in getting jobs. Trying to better their lives. Well, you see, Warlord Fang, you raise a valid point, but there have actually been no shortage of individuals, even recently, who have gotten very angry at the fact that Vlad and I are no longer beefing. Like, actually angry. And it's just embarrassing. Yes, it was funny, Vlad, because these people... Anytime you say, hey, your life's in your hands, you can make changes to it, you are the arbiter of your own destiny, they just get mad because they want excuses for why they can't do things instead of recognizing they have the capability to do it. I'm sure I put that on another layer, honestly, because otherwise when I thicken stuff, it's going to be goofy. Imagine succeeding in creating a server more solely than in-laws. In commentary, that's pretty hard to do, but in other spaces it's even easier. Unironically, though, there's a Christian server I'm in that I unironically think is less soy than the one we were talking about earlier today. And they're not like the right-wing edgy type of Christian either, just to make that clear. Don't worry about it, Buddha. If you need to know, you'll know. That show is unhinged. There's one weirdo who was like obsessed with looking into me, saying, "Oh, Lyle's not good at anything he says he is. He says he worked for a comic company. I've yet to see any of his work." He was like scrounging for it. Joke's on them, though. I never said I was good at art. As a Christian myself, I find it hard to be in Christian spaces because I keep ending up in the wrong kind of Christian space. More difficult because I'm queer. No, I can understand why that would be a struggle, especially trying to find people who aren't being cruel to you needlessly. Look, here's the thing. There's still a lot of studying I'm doing, but let's go ahead and take worst case scenario, assuming that homosexuality is 100% unquestionably a sin. All right, let's assume that. How is it any worse than being a drunk? Homosexuality is maybe mentioned, 5 times? I had the numbers a while ago. I haven't had them on hand lately. But gossip's mentioned over 100-something times. I think that kind of demonstrates what's more of an issue here. But it's easier to try to rally against people than it is restraining your own habits. Scripture says judgment begins at the house of God, and that means they start with us. You should always be more concerned in terms of Scripture, in terms of the beliefs, with your own actions than you inherently are with other people. Now, when it comes to calling out terrible human beings, sometimes you just got to do that. You got to do that or people are going to get hurt. So I'm speaking from a clearly theological perspective. I'm not going to sit here and dog on my brother for his sin. But number one, I'm supposed to just approach him properly according to Ecclesiastes. Or I'm supposed to just mind my own doggone business. Let's see here. Just gonna move it a little, but let's see if I can. Might just be a problem with the source image. And we'll go with it though. Have fun with it. In the laws of Moses. Yes, that is true. Elihu, I've been working essentially tapestry crochet squares. Basically, done need some finessing. Would it be okay to mail it to you? Do you have a pull-up P.O. box? No, I don't, but my docs is easy to find. Honestly, it comes across from someone constantly, secretly going, not gay, not gay, not gay, totally not gay, and then turns out to have a subscription to male escorts. Yeah, that happens a lot more often than people think. I love God, but his fan base sucks. Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. And part of the reason. See, a lot of people like to quote, scripture about the gays and all that. It's like, here what will not enter the kingdom of heaven. And it lists down a whole slew of types of people. But they forget the last part of it. And the last part of it is, such were some of you. It's not a commandment to deal with those individuals. It's to say, hey, don't forget what you were. Show people grace and kindness. But of course, people seem to magically forget that. Well, is it bad that I've learned more about Christianity than I did from Britain? That's sad, but you should always do your own research. The Bible says the study to show yourself approved, a workman who needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. What that means, the TLDR of that is, actually talked about in previous scripture where it says to seek your own salvation with fear and trembling. What that means is, brother, it's on you to seek out salvation for yourself, but be cautious. Don't screw up. Because there's a lot of deceptive people out there. Especially in churches. Which one? I just smacked out 2 of them. Either that or you're referencing some other conversation where I said that. I don't know which one it is, Pooh. The one I posted, scroll up. Give me a second here. Is this the poop one again? Oh. If a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Leviticus 20:13. Yeah, I'm aware of that one. The point is there may be some issues with the translation. The Bible is okay with gay women, though. Okay, Vlad. And I know he's going to say, what? I'm right. Like, what does it always say when someone tells you who they are? Believe them? Yeah. I'm an internet garbage human being, and I'll say that to you. Nah. I don't think that's inherently true. No, the church is not okay with lesbians. Some people just are better at hiding their nonsense. And when I say nonsense, I mean their biases. Okay, so time to replace some of these lines. I want to select the line tool, huh? Yeah, there is something to be said about the difference between the Levitical law, the law of Moses, and New Testament orders. Okay, so that does work. I'm sure there's a smarter way to do what I just did, but I don't know what it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. And now my chat's arguing about Bible. Fantastic. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you for this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, there we go. Better. Do 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 do. I ain't Googling nothing right now. I want to try to get this sucker done. I kind of need it for the video I'm hoping to have out tomorrow. I'm using Clip Studio because I'm a moron. No, this is a nerd video. Because I need to do more of those instead of just covering freaks all the doggone time. No, Godo, we are not telling people to type Google Sonic Inflation. Lyle, I think I found an error. Oh, I'm sure they're all over the place. My art is not perfect by any means. Really? You knew a Poomer, but nobody else from there? Even Monkeyin? Really? That's weird. Yeah, that's kind of the best I can do the knives on right now. So, you know. It is what it be. Because in fairness, they're even wonkier than the original. Also, as a Christian lad, you have no idea how meaningful the conversation right now is to me. Well, I hope I can help, and more importantly, I hope you do your own seeking after God. As everybody should, frankly. Okay, so, time to work on this. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, can delete that one. No, Godo, stop asking people to Google unhinged things. But you know what? I will, however, tell you guys a story, and I think I've probably told it before. But I'm going to tell it again, because I want to. Many moons ago, long ago in a distant land, I had a friend who would run panels at anime conventions. And one panel he liked to run was a bad fan fiction reading panel. And in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with that. However, what I did not know was this friend of mine always did that panel without checking the content of the fiction. Now, to be clear, to my knowledge, this was like an adult-only panel, right? Because of that specifically. Thank you, Gilded. The Bible is written by men, inspired by God, and likely the OG version of saying based on true events, not shot by a syndicated Bible. I can see where that would come from. Anyways, so I decided, not knowing that he doesn't double-check anything, that I would have some fun at my friend's expense. So I said, you know what fic you should really read that I hear is really good? Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. I see what you're typing there, Marima. Let me finish this and I'll get to that, because that's actually something that I do need to talk about, because I was talking to somebody about it the other day. So what happens is this friend of mine, he prints out the fic and takes it to the panel and reads it and cleared out that entire room. He had absolutely no clue what that thing was about. So he tells me, why'd you recommend that, man? It's like, you cleaned out the whole room. Like, why did you read it there and only there? So yeah, needless to say, he doesn't trust me for that anymore, and I'm happy with that. Now, to get to Marima's thing here, let me just finish this. Dipper Goes to Taco Bell is the name. It's a gastrointestinal nightmare. Where is the comment? Did I miss it? Did I already scroll up? Oh goodness, it looked like the chat went a little quick. I had a straight Christian friend who told me who was just cruel to listen to. My friend told me when I told him I was going to therapy, why get therapy when you have God on your side? And even where were you again? Look, I grew up in a household that literally demonized therapy for that exact same argument. So I want you to listen to me right now. When Jesus talked about himself, he said, what need do people have of a doctor unless they are sick? Something along those lines. Doctors, therapists, they don't exist just to exist. And just because they do a specific job does not mean that God is not capable. One thing I have learned is a lot of people want a lot of things from God without recognizing that God's never going to help someone who refuses to help themselves. And that has been proven in Scripture. There's nothing wrong with getting a therapist. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's a reason why all these cults, and that is what they are, cults, who go by prayer only, don't tend to last long. So, I hope that brings you some solace, because you don't deserve to be demonized for trying to get the help you need. Faith alone is good enough for faith. And there are times you will have physical issues that God will not fix. It happened to Paul, the most prolific writer of the New Testament. He's like, there is essentially a thorn in my flesh, a harasser essentially from Satan. I've asked God to remove it, and he said, no, my grace is sufficient. And the reason that was there was to keep Paul humble. And why did Paul need to stay humble? Well, out of literally every disciple, Paul, or apostle, Paul was the most educated, and therefore likely to be the most one to get up in his own butt. And no, beavers aren't a Catholic fact. Yeah, Catholic fact. It certainly isn't a biblical fact. Beavers are fish. No. Woo, 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 woo. That makes sense. So we forgot to sketch this in. It's a bit different than the original hairline, but good enough. Good enough for government work. The solution is to believe in Santa Claus. No, I don't believe in communists. Vlad. Said as a commie. The eyes are kind of supposed to be wonky. Again, based on the original image. Santa's also a slave owner. Actually, I don't even know if he's a slave owner. I don't know if he employs the elves or not. Honestly, I never got into faith, and it was mostly due to family constantly fighting with each other over scripture and doctrine, even though, by and large, they were the same faith. Yeah, well, that's why you should look into things yourself instead of relying purely on other people. And that's not an indictment of you. I want to be very clear. I'm saying that as a general rule of thumb. Woo, woo, woo. Well, have you seen any Kevin Smith movies before he went vegan and turned his brain to crap? I have. Didn't enjoy a single one of them. Never been a big Kevin Smith person. Never will be either. Whatever talent he unfortunately had back in the day seems to have been stripped the minute he decided to sell out to corporations. And needlessly lie about freaking He-Man of all things. Like, why would you even do that? What's the point? I still need to do a video on that Kevin Smith He-Man. I just have been so busy. Because in that, there's much bullying that needs to be done. of the production, of the story, of the people behind it, and of the fans. For inconsistency and being stupid. The hands will be rated E for everything. Or everyone, rather. Yay and amen. There you go. Let's fix that. Come on, hand, get steady with me. Okay, now before... Not bad, flats. Before we add anything else, let's go ahead and adjust some of the line depth here. Now, a neat thing about Clip Studio is you don't need to do it traditionally where you just literally go over it with a pen. There's actually a thickening tool, specifically for lines like this. Now, to be clear, the original art doesn't have any of this because it's not static. This is static. Those are all individual cells in order to convey movement, and I don't need to do that here. So I can give it a little bit of the extra touch-ups. This is the correct line tool for the obvious reason. He-Man's supposed to be part of DC Universe because they based off DC Masters of the Universe. Actually, no. Not at all. Well, DC did one of the comics for He-Man, so did Marvel. Hold on. I fail to see how this looks any different from Doodle Tone's art. Well, that is fair. That is fair. I mean, obviously there's no difference. You dickhead. I want you all to know there's somebody in Vlad's spaces named Gallagher who unironically rage baited me successfully once. And the way he did it was he told me that I'm two things. One, he said I'm a young Earth creationist, and he said my favorite dinosaur is the Brontosaurus, and he actually got me. He actually got me. I'm like, what do you want? Just went off on him. Rage bait successful. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out what I want to use for the colors. For all the shading and whatnot. Yes, the T-Rex is my favorite dinosaur. And this is where Vlad says that his is the Spinosaur. Good night, Night Teller legend. See how this will work. I might have to change it. Kylosaur. Shadowbringers, I am not familiar with that, but I will trust you when you say that it sounds like that music, because I don't know what it is. Alright, now, let's see here. A little bit more. I'm not going to just randomly use Sega music. Sorry. Blue's not too bad. Blue's not too bad. I think I'll stick with it. What do you guys think? Okay, so I just want to test that. Thought it was being goofy on me again. Sometimes the program be goofy and you must smack it. Teacher's boss. Do you Mumra reflect? Well, he's not fighting Mumra. Again, this is a scene redraw from The Terror of Hammerhand. So it's actually Hammerhand he's fighting in this. Why did you eat a box of Addams Family cereal from the freaking 90s, Godo? What's wrong with you? Could have at least gone for the Ninja Turtle ones. Failure. Was Hammerhand a Thunderian or Third Earther? 100% Third Earther. He is a Viking who has a vocal tick like all the other Berserkers do. Which can absolutely be something if you want to keep your characters memorable like that. They're very much so, the vocal tick's the same as the Insecticons. Although I doubt there was any real direct inspiration there. I remember TMNT putting Pi so good. Yes, I do. Actually, there is one company that has been trying to replicate it, but obviously they can't do it in pudding form, so they do it in frosting form, and it's pretty good. I will not deny that I've eaten quite a bit of it that I probably shouldn't have. And by probably shouldn't have, I mean absolutely shouldn't have. And once I get through with what I'm doing physically, I will eat it again. Yeah, they did screw up Dunkaroos. I tried buying some several months ago, but the ones I bought were immediately out of date, so I'm like, well, successfully failed. There we go. It's a little better. We'll see how green works for the counter on the red. Congrats, Crossbone. I'm glad to find out that you have a partner now. It's very nice. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I don't like the shading at the top. That should probably be a highlight instead. Oops. Wrong button. I haven't been able to reprogram my hotkeys onto the tablet. It doesn't want to do it quite right for me, so been struggling with that. Oop. Let's make sure I put the little dots there. There we go. I thought I forgot something. Rather knew I forgot something. Boop. Normal. Oof. Move in. Have any of those character ice cream bars? When I was a kid, sure. Obviously not like now, because I'm an adult. We do, however, have an ice cream van that occasionally drives by my street at like 9 o'clock at night. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Like gunshots, yeah, that happens sometimes. Screams, wild animal sounds, yeah, makes sense. Ice cream truck, no. Just no. Freaking demons in that ice cream truck. I don't know. Again, I was a kid. My favorite Castlevania is Castlevania 4 or Rondo of Blood. It's hard to choose between two classics like that. Well, Asuka, that's how we know you're not American. Which Rondo of Blood? There's only one actual Rondo of Blood. I didn't say Castlevania Dracula X. I said Rondo of Blood. Alright, we know what I meant. Alright, so I guess we're going to highlights now. And I do highlights differently because I don't know a better way to do it. You'll find out very quickly that I am very stupid about many things involving art. And this is just one of them. Why is this not doing what it's supposed to do? Oh, because I'm dumb and I'm using the wrong color. That'll do it. What would one clue I'm Canadian then? True. Do you think the Lunatics were good villains? They were interesting villains. I think that this is part of the whole fact that Thundercats wasn't just made to sell toys like people want to pretend, because, God forbid, they go and look at facts. The Lunatics were interesting villains who had a lot of potential. In some cases, they lived up to it. In some cases, they didn't. Because Thundercats was very, very quick to introduce new characters. Specifically, it was a William Overgaard script, because that man just did not want to play with the box he had. The man had to bring new toys every time he showed up. I really wish I could have talked to him. But, God, he died in the 90s. I was a kid when he died. No chance there. Not like I went to any conventions when I was a kid either, so, you know. It is, as the kids say, what it is. Hello, my Gidgy. Sorry, sweetie, can't let you in. Have you seen the Super 7 Kaiju figures? They're 5-inch figures, I have to say. They're great. I have Godzilla 89 and Mecha Godzilla 93. I've seen them, but they're way too expensive for what they are, dude. $30 for that? Are you kidding me? Thoughts on Doom the Dark Ages? I haven't, and I haven't played it yet. Had at times. Do you know why Cosmocat or Thundercats is called Cosmotax in French? Because I guess that they thought that would be a better way to pitch the series, where I'd venture a guess. I'm not familiar with any specific reason why they were called Cosmocats. Do you have interest in games like Deltarune or Toho? No, I played Undertale back in 2015. Once and never again. Because I got the good ending and I don't need anything else, okay? I don't need it. Actually doing something a little different this time than I used to. Have you played the Elder Scrolls? Nope, never once touched the Elder Scrolls. I did, however, one time play Dragon Age Origins. I'll tell you that in a minute. You gotta play Ninja Gaiden Ragebound when it comes out? No, don't plan on it. Lio, was Pete justified in being a jerk to Goofy and Goof Troop? I have not watched that show in years. I remember two things about it. There were hijinks and shenanigans, and Peg was hot. And I still stand by that last one. One of the very few I'm not a furry but situations. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. So, Dragon Age Origins. I'm going to tell you my playthrough of Dragon Age Origins. This is like a decade or more ago, right? It was gifted to me. And I decided, you know what? I've never played anything like this. I'll take a shot at it. And early on in the game, I am given a dog. And I like dogs. Dogs are good animals. Not that there's a bad animal. So, I bestowed upon him the most ancient and coveted ranks. I named him Penis. Yes, and I will not apologize for it. What was also funny about it is the fact that I was then given a prompt of pet Penis or put him away. And I looked at that for a good 3 minutes. I'm like, this is amazing. I love this game now. And then I wound up in an altercation in that game. And Penis was the only survivor. Penis outlasted all of us. Yes, Asuka, I do have sometimes that sense of humor. Very rarely, but sometimes. And look, I'm not here to upset you too much. But guess what I did when I got Viva Pinata? Guess what the name of everything on my island was? Yes, it was. It was that name. Do you play any new games? I sometimes play new games, very rarely. Very rarely. We can't be friends anymore. Well, as long as we're not friends any less, I guess it's okay. Very rarely do I have bathroom humor, but that's just one of those times where, like, the neuron went burr. Like, if you ever catch Vlad and I in just a regular call, 9 times out of 10, my communication in that is, oh, come on, Vlad. Or a deep, long-suffering sigh. Okay, Vlad. Maybe the shadows are a bit too dark, but it's fine. Hopefully it'll all work itself out when it comes down to actually doing the background, which I don't think I'm going to get to in this stream, simply because I'm short on the time for that. So I will probably do that off camera. I'm sorry. But I do want to try to get this video out tomorrow. And this is not the last thing I have to do for the video, unfortunately. Do you play any Hot Wheel games? Nope, never played a Hot Wheel game. And yes, Asuka, I know it was a joke. That's why I played it off as a joke. Again, this drawing is for background video of the video I'm putting out tomorrow. I decided, since I'm continuing the Thundercat episode reviews, that I should probably just make myself draw by forcing myself to do scene redraws for the background footage for these things. So here I am, doing just that. Z. Z. Nah. Let's try like this. I need to zoom in. And then I will thin that out. and try this. I have never played any Super Robot games either. Now, I always get on people for not doing this, so I will do it myself. It will not be very good, but doggone it, if I'm going to give other people grief for it, I'm going to do it too. Nobody ever wants to draw the logo, but I will. Well, probably not, but I'll do it. And unfortunately, this is something that also rings true for the modern stuff too. Like if you pick up the modern Thundercat comic, which is garbage, by the way, just so everybody knows. They, number one, they use the wrong logo. They use something they found on Google Images that is not accurate. But they also just use a clear PNG or a PNG in general anytime it has to appear somewhere because they just will not draw it. And they are cowards and scoundrels and should be beaten with rods, clearly. And before somebody clips that and says that I'm advocating for violence on comic artists. So to be clear, yes I am. For some of them. I'm not going to tell you who though. I'll make you guess. Before you ask, no, it is not Rob Liefeld. He's a treasure. Like I said, not well, but here it is. The original Cap doesn't have this, but I do what I want. I don't remember how to get to the third episode of Doom. It's been so long since I played it. Favorite comedian? Don't have one. I've never been a big comedian guy. I find most comedians, honestly, to be annoying. Jeff Loeb, no. He's repetitive. He's not worthy of beatings. Have you picked up any Transformers at all? He's recently, no. The Ollies hasn't really had anything that I would care for a long time. All right, I think that's really all that's needed right now. Before I forget them. Do you have any favorite manga artists, Lio? Yes. The manga artists for Vagabond and for shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, Fist of the North Star, and of course Kentaro Miura, but he's gone. So, you know, the cat you hear in the background is Gidget. She demands entry, but she shan't be given it because she is a Destructinator, and she will destroy all but its in her path. And I really don't need that right now. Yeah, I actually picked up Perceptor and Kickback from a local toy show for about as much as Ollie was asking. Excuse me, not toy show, toy store. Yeah, I saw the Beast Wars retro figures at Ollie. I didn't get them then. I got them when they initially came out because I'm very smart. Is Gidget related to Gozer? No. Do you have a Thundercat symbol as a tattoo? I'm thinking of getting it. No, I don't. I don't have any tattoos, and I don't want any. Thoughts on Crash Bandicoot games? Never played them. Will he take me to the toilet, though, is the question. Well, let me go ahead and maybe get started. Get started on the background and go from there. Or at least I'll start fiddling with the tools. What is this? Decoration. In fact, oh, That's right. That's what I got for the thumbnail for the video I did on the toy show. Bought it, Lyle. Your body's a temple. One of those rundown, crumbling temples. Yes, that is true. Shadows for $5. Thank you. Here's character ice cream bar money. You don't need to be a child to enjoy fun things. Yes, but lactose intolerant. But I appreciate the thought. I don't know where. I don't actually know because I downloaded them, but I don't know where they would go. Marker? No. I have not gotten the Thundercat Origin figures yet because they're not out yet. And I can tell you right now they're probably going to suck. So I'm trying to figure out where the downloaded brushes went because I can't seem to locate them. I don't even know where downloaded to be honest with you. Perhaps something to figure out later. No, I'm using Clip Studio. Have you read The Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum? There's some sort... No, I've never heard of them. So, no, I haven't read them. What does this mean? No, I don't want to override it, but where would I find it? There's a button to import brushes somewhere. I'm sure there is, but however, I am a monkey with a supercomputer. Import. No. Subtool. I'm not smart. What is a subtool? Haven't seen it, Godo. Subtool pencil. So where is import subtool? Thank you for freezing on me. Think the Thunder Tank will make a Transformers crossover? I hope not. It's alright, I appreciate you trying to help. That's important. Like, I'm not going to fuss at you. You're doing the best you can, and I appreciate it. Just know you are dealing with a moron. I'm going to Google it. It says use the import function within the palette. What is that supposed to mean? Ah. Where is it? We watched Sailor Moon Cosmos a little bit years ago. Unfortunately, not very much. Hold on. Window. Material. Download. Here they are. How do I do this, though? So how do I import it, though? How is Babby formed? Drag it to the brushes spot? Well, it's not letting me. Unless it's supposed to be there. Nope. Because it's this? Nope. I am a genius, clearly. Well, Missingly Optimus is amazing. Like, definitely a toy of the year. These are pin brush tool. Let's try them with the brush tool. Nope. Man. It is not wanting to be nice to me. Not a Secret of Blue Water. I have not seen it in many years, so I don't know. Oh well, enough of the boomerisms. I've got to get some work done, and then I head to bed, so thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Thank you all for your kindness in the super chats, and, you know, you guys have a good night. Where is it?
Get ready for explosive action with the Silverhawks. Holy hyperdrive! These space-age crime busters are going to strike a blow for justice. That's it, Silverhawks. Show them how it's done by rounding up the intergalactic mob led by public enemy #1. His name is Munstar. So soar with the superheroes that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The Silverhawks.
Weekday mornings at 6:30 on TV 14.
Uh-oh.
Darkwing Duck, grade A superhero who gets a D in everything else.
Launchpad, the book.
He's destructive.
Evildoers everywhere fear me.
He's deranged.
I'm sure it seems that way to the untrained eye.
He's the greatest superhero in St. Bernard.
Let's get dangerous.
But to his friends, he's just good old DW.
Gee.
Weekdays on Darkwing Duck.
Weekdays at 3 on the WB Channel 11.
The SWAT Cats. What are they doing here?
Your job, Beryl. Only a sorcerer's dark power could have brought these ancient bones to life. It must have been the past master.
Don't worry, Miss Briggs. We'll take care of it. And him.
How many lives do these cats have?
From its ashes I will create a new city where lawlessness is the law of the land.
I used to be Dr. Purvis. But now you can call me Dr. Viper.
Hey, bucket butts, is this a private party? Or can anybody join? Outstanding!
Down these mean skies, a cat must fly. We want to be the good guys.
Do you think Dark Cat will surface again soon?
Well, when he does, we'll be waiting. Both of us. Count on it.
On the next all-new Ninja Turtles.
Like the phoenix, I have risen from the ashes, and into my fire you shall fall.
Guys, I say we shred his butt once and for all.
I will not allow you to destroy my family.
My sons, retreat!
Hey, this door's getting hot.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Next Saturday, only in the Fox Box.
Dragonis is destroying the city. Here comes the hockey-playing Mighty Ducks to save the day. Go, Mighty Ducks! Wildwing skates in and joins Grin and Duke LaRange as they stop the evil Lord Dragonis from destroying the world. Go, Mighty Ducks! Go! Wildwing fires his puck. Duke throws his grappling hook and swings into action. Grin skates in with a super crunch. Go! And here comes the Duck Cycle firing pucks to finish off Dragonis. Ducks rock! The new Mighty Ducks figures and Duck Cycle sold separately. Duck Cycle coming soon.
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake at night?
We should start with your childhood, yes, child?
Bruce.
Is there some past tragedy?
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake?
I was only a child.
Don't blame yourself.
What hidden terror?
Bruce. A need filled you.
He ain't human.
All consuming. All controlled.
Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare. Bruce, don't go in there.
Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us, son?
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Batman. Tonight at 7 on Cartoon Network.
It's payback time.